Yes, please. Okay, let me- Okay. Okay, Skylar, what all of you are you to change? Yeah, oh, wait, I'm in the. I mean, it's open, but it's like. Oh, okay. So I see video. So this one right now is on the webcam. If I want it on my computer, I move it up to the camera, right? The top one. Okay. Uh, Oh, yeah. Oh, let's see.
We should do,
It's probably open.
no,
See a little slidey deal.
no.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. So I did close it. Now it's shutting my computer. So what does this mean? I don't want them to see. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So I closed it. Now they can't see me. So I figured out how to do that. So I go to video. And then I switch it to webcam and it goes to the smartboard, correct? Okay. And I didn't get anything from you yet, Skylar. I didn't get anything from you yet. You don't want to come in, but I think everything's working okay. Now, I'm not promising I won't call you, but I will try really, really super hard not to. Is the smartphone not working?
I remember.
What's that?
I still remember something.
Yeah. It's not. Smartboard is actually on. Okay, wait. Let me try. There it goes. There it goes. Well, I've got the smart mode camera on
Oh,
and the video is. It's got an arrow over the video. It's got an arrow over it.
oh, yeah.
Okay, there it goes. There it is. Okay. All right, I'll figure it out. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I know sheep. I know sheep.
Bojo.
Bonjour, Judah.
Wow.
Can you hear me okay, Judah?
Yeah, you're a little quiet, but
I'm a little
that's
quiet.
probably on my end.
Okay,
Yeah, that was on my end.
okay.
I
Let me
just-
know if there's any echo, will ya? I've got a microphone on for the people here.
There's a little bit, but it's
Is
not
it?
bad.
Okay. If it does get bad, I'll turn the mic off. If you guys will give me just a minute, both the ones online and the ones in person, we'll give people a few more minutes for me to get them signed in. Right now, it's not everybody that's waiting. Wait. We got 3 more.
Mine. Mine. Hey, guys. Stop, stop, stop. Oh, no.
Bojo, Jayak. Nijana. I would like for us to practice our greetings that we learned in the first class. So, Bojo Jayak is, I'm saying, hello, everyone. Okay, so, let's start with the online folks. If I say Nijana, everybody give me a response. Not all at the same time, but. What about in person? Can you guys help them out? Bojo, Nishana. Teresa said Anwe Sheshana. She's saying
Good
she's
job.
fine, and then she said Ginje. So she's asking me and you, and I'm gonna respond and say Anwe Sheshana. Okay, so that was one way that we can respond. Does anybody remember the other way? And the other way is more like northern or Kansas is the other way Kansas?
Ijanwe.
Correct, that's correct. Isha Onway, yes, yeah, yeah.
Hey, Judy beat me.
I mean, those are two options that we gave you the other day. Let me. Let me see if I have anybody waiting in the waiting room. You guys look here. I sent you a revised greetings page that will just give you. I gave it to you the first day, but I kind of rearranged the basic greetings to maybe read a little bit easier for us when we kind of like read through it like a skit. So it just gives you more options what you can put in there as we're, going to be trying this out. So first class, guys, just in review, it looks like we looked at greetings, introducing ourselves. I gave you several variations to do with your family. And I also gave you several variations to do, such as Nutty-Yuckwis, I'm tired. Someone asks you how you're doing. Nutty-Yuckwis, I'm tired. And Doc Noge, I'm sick. Nachi Winmo, I'm happy. Nikio Juarez, I'm sad or kind of out of sorts. Nagio Juarez, I'm crazy. Most of the time people don't just say I'm crazy. We'll say, oh, crazy as ever. But, Nagio Juarez, Nada Bamades is I'm alive. Nada Bamades, or Nishkades, I'm angry or I'm mad or upset. We have a person that works in housekeeping here, and every time he comes in, he does the spraying for the COVID. I would say, hi, how are you doing, Chris? And he said, oh, terrible, terrible. And for a long time, I'm like, I don't know how to respond to that, but that's just what he always says, terrible, terrible, just terrible. So, if we use an in front of a verb, what does that N stand for? We're just reviewing, guys, right now. What does the N stand for?
Stands for I.
It stands for I, me, or myself. And it is what person?
First person.
First.
First person. Which? Okay, what if I put a nothing or W in front of the verb?
You.
Hey, what is that?
Oh wait, no, not
Third
you.
person?
They.
All of you, right?
He, she.
He, she, correct. Yeah, I kind of threw you guys a curve right there. I didn't go right down the list, but yes, he or she. So nothing with the W in front of the verb is he or she. Okay, what if I want to say you? What am I going to put in front of the verb?
She.
That's correct. Okay, so we mostly want to focus on first person, second person, third person. But the very first class, I did give you the whole Maji pattern, and it's very, very important that you learn the Maji pattern. We're going to pick the Maji pattern apart here in just a moment. Let me see what other questions I have. So, does anybody remember what Maji actually means, the verb Maji? Leave.
Leave.
Correct. Yes, correct. That's correct. Leave. Okay, let's look at last week, what we did. Okay, so last week we learned about consonant combinations. So I just want to go over the ones, they're all important, don't get me wrong, but these are interchangeable, whether you are here or you're in up north or you're in Kansas. So the B and the P, those are interchangeable, whether we put a B or a P on the front of a word. It's going to mean the same thing. It just depends on where you're speaking it. The CH and the J, so that makes that ch or just sound, but the CH and the J are interchangeable. The D and the T, like in gold or in gold, which is one. So the D and the T are interchangeable. So you might see a word be reading a word in Potawatomi, and it might have a D in front of it, but it looks like RNGOT, because we would use a T here. It is the same word. It's just someone that lives up there or uses that form, wrote that, whatever you're reading. Let's see. Remember the G. It sounds like go or gone, but remember I said it never sounds like a what? How
A
in
J?
English?
A J.
A J, correct.
Never like a J.
Right, in English, we have G's that sound like J's, but in Potawatomi, we'll never have that. Let's see, we have the G and the K, the gises or gises, those are interchangeable. The S and the Z, like Sogech and Sogech for outside. The SH and the ZH for Shishibe or Jijibe, those are interchangeable. Now, do you remember what I said about the M and the N? How do they sound on the front?
Kind of like you mouth it, go make this sound like or
Correct, that's correct. That is absolutely correct, miigwech. Okay, guys, so how many, next we talked about vowels. How many vowels do we have?
5.
We have
No,
5.
4.
Well,
4, 5? I'm
We
forgetting now.
you're both are right, I guess, in a way. We do have 5 because we have one letter twice. Does anybody know what that letter is? An E. So we have a regular E, and then we have an E with what we call a dicritical or a feather above it. Okay, so remember when we were talking about our, well, let me ask you, how does the A, what noise does the A make? What's it sound like?
Ah,
Ah. What about I? What sound does I make?
E.
E. I sounds like a double E. When you see I in Potawatomi, it sounds like a double E. And what about O?
O,
O, it makes just the O sound, correct? Okay, what about the E with the little dicritical on it? That one
A?
makes, yes, that's one of them. And
Yeah.
A. So that one makes both the long and the short A sounds, depending on what's following it. Remember? What about the regular E? How many sounds does it make?
2, is it or I?
Correct, that is correct. Okay, so if, let's say,
Say that last one again, would you, Shelly?
so back here. So the E, the regular E with no feather on it, just a regular E, it makes 2 different sounds. One of them is like a UH, and the other one is if, like a IH. It depends on what's following it, Sandy. Okay, so let's talk about that. So E sounds like when it's followed by a K. So for example, the word gishuk, which is sky or day, that E, just the E by itself, it's gonna sound So then if you think about if E is followed by like an M or an N, it's gonna make the other sound, which is if, like as in rock, sin. Because it's S-E-N, the E's followed by N, so it's sin. Potato is pen, so it makes the it sound. So that regular E is it or That's why you need to pay attention to what follows our vowels, and that will help you know how they're supposed to sound. Now, later on in the class, we will do some little, we call them skits, but we're basically going to be reading different lines in Potawatomi And that will kind of help you if you will pay attention to those letters that follow those vowels. And also just by practicing reading them, it will help you learn how to say them correctly. And that's not always 100%, guys, because I still pronounce them incorrectly sometimes, and then I correct myself or I get corrected, but it does really help. I believe they say it helps you with your cadence, if you'll learn how those are supposed to sound. Okay, next we have, so remember we did the pronunciation practice. Let me go to the board over here. I think you guys can see. So somebody tell me how would this sound? Would that be the if or the If. Ayafin. Ayafin. Because of this in right here. Let me
Hard to
see.
say, Shelley.
Oh, really? Let me see. Let me see if I can, oh, that's the wrong one. I'm messing with the wrong one. I'm fixing a tear quick. That's not even in this. Go down. Okay, let me flip the board around a little bit. If I can. Can you see that, Sandy?
I can see it now.
I can.
I can see it now. Ayafin.
Ayapn. Yeah.
Do I need to turn it a little bit more? How about
Yeah,
that?
it would help. Yeah, that's much better.
That's much better. Awesome.
Thank you, Shelly.
You're welcome. What about this? Nukshe.
Nuksha.
So the emphasis is, and I wasn't supposed to tell y'all the answer. I'm just going to ask y'all, but the emphasis is right there. There's our E, it's followed by a K. So when it's followed by a K, it sounds like you. Nukshe. Nukshe. Okay. I'm not giving y'all any more answers. Let me see. Okay, so let's do this one. Someone read that one, pronounce that one.
Babak.
Babuk, correct. What about this one?
Sinna.
Sinna. Yeah, Sinna, right there. Followed by the N. Gosh, this one has two.
Agwin.
Hugwin. Uh-huh. I'm like a U right here and an I right there. Okay, good job. Oh, I see a question that I meant to ask. Back to our consonants. Which letters do we not have? Do you guys remember what letters we don't have in Potawatomi? An
Is R
L.
one of them?
We do not have an L. A R. Anybody online? You remember? 3 letters left.
X and Q.
An X is one of them.
There's no
She
Q,
said
is there?
Yes, yes.
Q.
Did Judah fall out here?
Oh, there
Hang on,
is.
let Judah in.
LRX.
Okay.
Is you
Yeah.
one of them?
How about a V
Oh,
And-
yes.
and S? Those are letters we do not have. Okay, so we talked about animacy and inanimacy also. Do you guys remember what that means? What does animacy mean or animate?
It means it's live.
Something alive.
Something alive, uh-huh. Are there exceptions? Do we have some things that are considered animate that aren't alive?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Can somebody give me an example?
Feather.
Okay. Feather,
Car.
a car, correct. Okay, what about inanimate? Give me some, what does inanimate mean? It's an object.
It's no
Like a
life, no
table.
spirit.
No life, no spirit. Okay. But what if it did have a spirit? Could you tell me some examples of some things that are man-made? So inanimate are things that are man-made, man-built.
I,
Like
Um,
clocks.
A pipe, correct. A clock.
If a mirror came to life and started talking to you, it could be inanimate.
Yeah, if you're telling that kind of a story, right? That's correct. You're a drum, would be considered. So if they are ceremonial type items, spiritual items, then yes. And inanimate, otherwise inanimate can be considered animate. And really, in a lot of cases, it's almost up to the speaker to determine that. And I just say that because, the other example I give is for Catholicism. If you're practicing Catholic, then your rosary, to you, that would possibly be animate. Whereas to someone else that is not a Catholic, it would not be. Does that make sense? Okay. So we
like the
learned,
host too.
I'm sorry.
Like the host, when you get communion.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Okay, so it's very important, guys, to make sure you know what is animate and inanimate. So let's.
We're gonna
talk
make
about-
mistakes.
What is that, hun?
I said, we're gonna make mistakes.
Oh, we will. I make them all day, every day. So, yeah. And you'll see that here in just a minute. Let me see. What about, okay, so you guys are doing pretty good. Do you remember what a dope one is?
Table,
It's a table. Is it animate or inanimate?
inanimate.
It's inanimate, correct.
That was a good guess.
Yeah. What about McCall? You girls remember
Co
that?
would be
Fair.
animate.
Fair.
Here,
Animate.
yes,
Is bear animate or inanimate?
animate.
Animate. We have a couple of kids in the audience tonight. They were part of our class that Josie taught back in the fall over at one of the housing editions here. So yeah, we have 3 little ones joining us tonight. Okay, so when we talk about things in Potawatomi, are we possessive of our things? I see one head nodding no.
No.
Yes. No?
No, that's not correct. We are possessive.
Yeah.
Remember, we talked about possession last time? What are some of the things that we possess? Remember I said, I
Grandma?
gave examples. You can't have like random body parts lying around. If you're talking about somebody's arm, it's not just any arm. Somebody owns that, right? Or leg. What about dad? If you're talking about someone's dad, it's not just, it's somebody's dad, right? So we are very possessive when we speak of our body parts, of our relatives, of our personal objects. And so that's where our Potawatomi prefixes come in. That's why we use the N for I, me, or myself, the G for you or yours, and then the W or nothing for he or she. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. We talked about, when we also talked about possession, so I just told you, so if we're talking about a table, it's my table, so it's in dope one. It's your
Dope one.
table, Sandy, so it's the dope one. It's
Hey,
his or
Dopeman.
her table, so it's either just Dopewan, because in our dictionary, all our words are already in third person. So in the dictionary, it would read Dopewan, okay? And so that would be table. But so you're either gonna put a W or nothing. And both would be correct. But there is also a formal form of possession, which includes, you still use the N, the G, or the W, but at the end, you're gonna put that EM at the end. That's a more formal form of doing possession. Okay. And
What
that
at the end? Say that one again, Shelley.
Okay, so when we do possession, the simple form just requires us to put an N for my or mine, a G for you or yours, or a W for his or hers, his or her table, or nothing, just Dopewan is his or her table, or Wodopewan is his or her table, same thing. That's the simple form of possession. The formal would be in Dopewanum, so in and the word Dopewan and then EM at the end, it still means my table. Good Dopewanum still means your table. What Dopewanum still means his or her table. Okay, moving on.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Okay, so we talked about, let's do father. So father is os. So if it's my father, how's it sound? What's it gonna be?
Nos.
Nos, correct. If it's your father, it will be
Gos.
gos. And if it's his or her father,
Wilson or Wilson.
correct, that is correct. Miigwech. Okay. Okay, let's talk about body parts. So Jack is our nose. Let's say his or her nose. Somebody tell me how to say his or her nose.
Wajash.
Correct. What about your ear? How would you say your ear? Togue is ear.
Tog.
Gatog.
Good togue. Correct. You know, we good. You guys are doing awesome. Okay. Now, let me see. We're still in the review process here. So last time, guys, so you guys got a handout. Let me see if I can find this handout. I sent it to you in your email. So I don't want you guys to ever for making mistakes like the one lady said, because I have made the same mistake twice in both the first class and the second class. I thought I had corrected it for the second class, but I didn't. And so then when I was reading it, I realized that I had not changed it. So we're gonna fix that now, so you will have the right, so let's see, where is it? Watching here. Okay. You guys should all have this, I hope. You people in class may not have it, because you know what, I apologize, I don't remember running those off, but I will get it to you.
Shelly, we can't see the handout on the screen. We can still just see the whiteboard.
Okay, let me switch cameras here. Thank you for telling me. Oh,
Eric got kicked out too, Shelley. She needs,
Okay.
oh, no, he's back in.
I let him back. I'll let him back in. Okay, let me see if I can get my screen share. There it is. Okay, can you online folks see that?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Miigwech.
Okay. Okay, AE alterations. This just goes along with what I said the other day about, even though I'm telling you how to conjugate certain verbs, and I don't know why it does that. I told IT it does it, so my apologies, guys. All verbs, even though they may be in the same pattern, the same type of verb, it's not always 100% that they conjugate the same way. Okay, so in this example, we have mbeh, which is he or she sleeps. And remember, it's already in third person, okay? Mbeh, he or she sleeps. If we were to put it in first person, it's going to be mbeh, which is MBA. Turn this over. You guys see it right here. This is first person. Okay, so here is the conjugation right below it. For I sleep, it's, and it's kind of hard to say, I'm gonna get tongue-tied. Namba, namba, I sleep. Gumba, you sleep. But look at the next one for he or she, it's mba, but it has the little dicritical E. And then I've got walk in parentheses because that's optional. You can use walk or leave it off. Kind of like the W in front or leave it off. But it's mba with the E. And then as we go down, mbaman, we but not you sleep. You'll see the A is back. Gumbaman, we all sleep. Gumbam, you all sleep. And then mbak, mbak, they sleep. And the little dicritical E is back. So if you will look at this pattern with regards to the Maji pattern, the N, the G, the N, G, G on the left side in front of the verb, that's the same. It's the same thing for the first and the second person. It's the same for the first and second and third person plural. The conjugation is exactly the same. Where the change occurs is going to be in your third person, right there, the he or she sleeps, and in the they. Okay, that's where the E comes in. It's called eh. If you ever hear Justin say that, that's where he's getting it. Eh, eh. Okay. So this is me correcting Gia. We had that the first night, and I didn't change the he and the they. So that's where I had made my mistake. And then the second week, I added a whole new page and to a new PowerPoint for you guys. And I did the exact same thing, which is right here, but this one's corrected. You've seen this page right here where it says a few irregular VAI verb conjugations. So we have Kado, say something. So you'll see where it changes in the he or the they. The only thing different is down at the bottom. This one, it drops the O and it takes the W-I-K. We're not going to go through all the irregular conjugations, but I do want you to know that there are some different ones. Yaknoge was another verb. So Kado was brought up that first night. Yaknoge was also brought up. It was taken off of another page. This is how it conjugates. This one, this Yaknoge is both a AE, which is on the end, change, but it's also a WY change, which happens to the front. So something happens to both the front and the back for Yaknoge. So for example, in Daknoge, you see the Y dropped off. And that, so normally it would be, it takes the long form nada, NDE, nada. But in this one, it doesn't have the E right here, it's got the A. So in this case, we didn't put the E and we dropped the Y. So Daknoge is I'm sick. Vidaknoge, you're sick. Yaknoge, he or she is sick. So you've got the E right here. Let's see, then you've got endopnogamen, gadopnogamen, those are all the same. And then yapnogut, so you've got your little dicritical E's here on the he and she, and the they, and then this is what changed on the front. And there's the gia, which is to go. You've got to use long form with gia, so we have gata gia, and then gia, with or without walk. We've got the dicritical E there. Gata giamen. That's the same as the Maji pattern, and then gia, this is different because it's got the little dicritical E here. Okay, I just wanted to let you guys know that was my mistake, and that's how you fix it. Okay. And I didn't give that to you guys that are here. My apologies. I will get that to you though. Okay, so this is just comparing VAI verb modifications. So you'll see over there on the left, it's the regular Maji pattern. You could put Maji in there and it would work perfectly. But then over here, here's an irregular, the gia. You use the long form and then it changes and the he and the they. It's complicated, I know. We won't do a whole lot with irregular. A lot more stuff would be taught in the intermediate class with that. But does that make sense to you guys? You guys follow that? Not blowing your minds? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
On the top of that page, the IW sound like EO.
Well, let me go back up. Okay, I'm gonna have to switch and go back over to the whiteboard. Where's this at?
NGO, the independent VI regular, the top of that page.
I need to go higher.
Comparing VI for everyone. It's not just a little lower. You're at
Okay. Right here. I'm having a hard time understanding you. I don't know how to describe the sound.
Could you GIWE? I go home. How would you pronounce that?
Nigiwe.
NGIWE, I think he means.
Yeah.
And the question was?
Pronunciation.
Giwe. Nigiwe. Giwe. Giwe. Nigiwe men. Giwe men. Giwem. You could say Giwex. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you, Shelly.
Sorry, I was having trouble hearing you. It's like an echo. I guess that's the sound I was trying to describe, but couldn't bring it to my mind. Okay, let me switch cameras back to the webcam because I want you guys to conjugate based off of what we just said. And I think it's because it's not on. Oh, no, it's on. Okay, you guys can see it. All right. Okay, guys. So we're going to use the word. Okay, does anybody know what this word means? Bia.
So is it like come,
Like comes, yes, okay. So what person is this one in as it is there? You guys,
Third person?
third person, correct. Okay, now what is it gonna look like in first person? How would I write that?
India.
B-Y what? Is it gonna be an E or is it a different letter? First person is gonna be like that, just like in ba, like we just had. Okay, so this is first person, means the same thing.
You're writing
would
off
be an
screen
N.
now.
Yeah, it's up
I am.
too high.
Am
Needs to
I?
go down. Yeah, yeah.
Can y'all see BI though?
No.
You can't see
No.
BI? Okay, let me do right here. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now, how do I make that I come?
Mbia.
Add an N.
Add it in, which I don't need a big B, right? I
Yeah.
need smaller. NBI, okay, I come. Okay, now how do I say you come
What did
With a G.
with the G? What about he or she?
Bia?
How
Yeah,
do-
what?
How do I spell it?
BYE with the feather.
There you go. Okay, let me scoot over. Okay, what about the first person plural? How is that gonna look? The be almond.
Yeah.
We but not you. So how does that, is it a
In
the E or A?
A.
What about we all leave? Or we all come?
Gabaman. Gabaman.
With the A or a E?
With an E.
With the what?
Oh wait. No, with the A.
With the
Sorry, I
A.
was looking at the wrong letter.
Okay. Now what about you all come?
Gabam. Gabam
With the A or a E?
with an A.
With what?
A.
And then what's the last one? How do we do the last one? B. Do we have anything on front?
Nope.
Nothing on front, okay. B-Y what?
E with a feather. And then K.
And then a K.
Yeah.
So this is the we but not you. We all. You all. And they. Okay. Kiddo weekas. Okay, now. So this is a little bit, we haven't talked about this yet, guys, but who knows what "gi" means? It can mean a couple of things, but somebody give me one thing that "gi" might mean in a sentence. In a sentence, if you're talking, yeah.
And
It would be, it is a tense. We're gonna talk about tenses today. GI is a past tense in the independent, okay? So like the Maji pattern independent. Uh-oh. So, and we is
That top one's off screen again, Shelly, sorry.
it really? Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me actually probably need to adjust this camera. I don't know if I need to bring it. I don't know. Anyway, let me just keep
Up.
going. Okay, so
Okay,
gi is past tense,
okay.
and we're going to be talking about this here in a little bit. We is future tense. And then we have, okay, so I'm gonna give you some time options. So we have, does anybody know what engome is?
Isn't it like
Engome,
I
Today?
am or oh today? Whoops, my bad.
nago,
that tomorrow?
How about yesterday?
Wow.
And then Wabuck. Anybody know what Wabuck is?
Is that tomorrow?
It's
Morning.
tomorrow.
Morning, Wobbin. Oh, no,
Yeah, Wabuck is tomorrow.
okay.
And then now quick is noon. Okay. So whenever we're using the language, if we're referring to something that we did yesterday or an hour ago, but we already did it regardless, we're gonna have "ge" in there somewhere, okay? If we're talking about something we're gonna do this evening, or like what we're cooking for dinner, or an appointment tomorrow, we're gonna use "we." Time indicators, today is "ngom." Yesterday is "nago." Wabuck is tomorrow, and then now quick is noon. And then we're gonna do some sentences at the end. I wanted you guys to have this so you'll know what we're talking about when we get there. I am gonna move ahead to pluralization. Let me switch gears here, switch cameras again. Okay. Can you guys, are you guys seeing the PowerPoint, online people?
No,
Just black.
just blackness.
Okay, so. Okay, what about?
There we go. Yeah, we can see it now.
Yay. Okay, pluralizing words. In Potawatomi, you have animate nouns and inanimate nouns, which we've talked about. Uh-oh, let me do that. It depends if the word is animate or inanimate as to how you're gonna pluralize the word, okay? So we have animate words are those which are living or spiritual. We talked about that. One thing to keep in mind is that certain objects that we might not perceive are animate in, are animate in Potawatomi, such as a car. Some words are easy, but others you just have to memorize. Food is one area that can be kind of confusing because some of our food is animate. And some is inanimate. Inanimate words are usually pretty easy to recognize, as most end in "gin" or "when." So "gin" or "when," we see that we can use those two things to make something a noun. So you can also know it's a noun, but you also know it's inanimate. And most man-made objects, unless spiritual, are inanimate. To pluralize most animate nouns, if the word ends in a vowel, so again, you have to pay attention to the word. If it ends in a vowel, you're going to add a K or an EK to the end to pluralize it, okay? And remember, this is for animate. Some speakers will also use YEK. It's an older form of pluralizing. On certain words, YEK tends to be favored over the EK. It just presents better when you see it written. If a word ends in K, it will often take an OK at the end instead of an EK. And also there are a few words that take WIK or WEK for the plural. There are not a lot like this, but words like nene, which is man. If you want to make it men, you change it to, you add the W-I-K, nenwick, I'm sorry, nenwick, men. So nene, man, nenwick, men. Okay, and it's animate, of course. Basheke is another example. It is a cow. If you want to pluralize it, you're going to add week. So bashuk week. Okay, those are a couple of examples of how to pluralize. So remember, with your animate, it's going to be K or EK. Now the K is going to go if it comes after a vowel. So make sure you are looking at the word. If a vowel is at the end, you're going to pluralize it by adding a K. Otherwise, it's going to be an EK. Some will take YEK, and you just kind of have to know which ones those are. And let's see, some will have a week or a WEK. I've never seen a WEK. I have seen the WIK. So just FYI there. Now, so here are some animate words and they're pluralized. We have Mako for bear. It ends with a vowel. Got that O, so you just add the K. Mako makes it bears. Namosh, dog. It ends with a consonant, so you're going to add an EK. Namosha makes it dogs. Dingo is a squirrel. It ends with the O. In this instance, it will take a YEK, so singo yuck. This one will take a couple, actually. You could just put a K, or you can add the YEK for single. Kwe, which is woman. To make it women, you just add a K because it ends in a vowel. Kwe. Pawagan is pipe. Pawaganuk is pipes, ends in a consonant. Migwan ends in a consonant, same way, Migwanup. Dewagan, same way, Dewaganup. Pinoj, child. Pinoj, it also takes the YEK. Pinoj yet makes it children. And then there's the example, Nene man becomes Nen weak for men. Okay. Here's some more animate words. Kajo, cat, becomes kajo yuck. Ndaman for corn becomes ndamanuk. Neka, goose becomes nakak. Ntuk, remember there's that K. This is one of the exceptions. It takes the OK at the end. If it ends in a K, it takes the OK. So ntuko. Nodway, rattlesnake becomes nodwuk. Pojes is a bee, just a single bean. To pluralize it, you add that EK, pojesuk. Cano is an eagle. To pluralize it, you add a K. It ends in a vowel, canope. Muck is a beaver, ends in a K. So it's going to be mukup, beavers. And then Zimba ends in a vowel. So it's going to be, and this one takes the other form, Zimbaya for ribbon. It just carries better on the Zinba, because if you think about it, you would have to drop a vowel and do some other things to it. So I believe that's how the elders and the people before us that were speaking this, they were able to pick and choose which way it was going to make it flow better. If that makes sense. Okay. Now, pluralizing inanimate words. I memorized that we're talking about inanimate. So we're going to have ends in there, doing stuff at the end. Inanimate, ends. Animate's going to be the K or the EK or the we, but the inanimate words are going to be, so again, look at it. If it ends in a vowel, it's just going to have a single N. Whereas the animate side had a single K because it had a vowel at the end. But if it ends in a consonant, it's going to either take an EN like that, or it's going to take a YEN, which is that older form, On the animate side, it was Y-E-K, remember? And here on certain words, well, it's favored over the en. For example, cup, which is a box, it comes from a cup win. So this is a kind of a, takes a different form. So if a word ends in K, it will often take a win instead of an en. So this is just a rule for that one. So inanimate is in or en or yen or when. Okay. And here are some examples. Dope one is a table. To pluralize it, to make it more than one table, dope one in. Toss one, cabinet, toss one in. Most of these are the same except for one example, and that's all of them end in this instance, with the exception of washgonado, which is a flower. It takes that older form of yen, washgonadoyen, flowers. Okay. Nabi again is a pen. Nabi again in pencil. Basically, it just means an object that you write with. So it can be either a pen or a pencil, but that's how you pluralize it, is the en, because it ends in a consonant. Gmon, canoe, Gmonin, canoes. See if there's, these are all the same. They all end in en. Okay. Some words are just not pluralized. So one of them is beach, which is water. That would be super hard to pluralize that. Imbok, stoop, or sema, tobacco. Okay, the things to remember, if you see an EK or a K on an object, that usually means one of two things. It is inanimate or it is a locative, saying something is at, on, or near something. A speaker can make an object animate in a story. An example is if the story suddenly comes to life, it would be dealt with as animate, which we kind of talked about before. So a mirror in one instance, you know, it would take the inanimate form with the N, the EN, YEN. But if you are telling it and in the story it comes to life, then you're going to have to switch over to the K, the EK, WIK. That makes sense. Okay, so here's just a summary of what we just talked about. And you know, we're not going to get this overnight. I certainly don't have it. I don't know all the different ones. We don't actually have a list. Like sometimes we'll be doing some lessons and Justin will say something like, well, how do we know it takes the YEN or the YEK versus the EK? You know, he said it's just change away, but it's just the way it is. So, and I think that's it for this one.
Yeah.
Eel. Take this away here. And okay, while it's still fresh in our heads, you guys have a pluralization activity, right, that I gave you. So let's remember. Dopewen is inanimate. So how do we make one table into more than one table? What do we add?
Add en.
A what?
Yen.
An en, that's correct. Dopewen. What
Dopewen.
about Dopewen? What about Gmon, canoe?
Gminin.
Correct. We're going to add an en.
Yeah.
Okay, what
Gminin.
about what about washgonado, flower? How do we make that more than one flower?
YEN.
Correct. That is one of the exceptions. Okay. Okay, let's talk about on the animate side. How about nene? How do we make one man into, more than one man? In conversation. What is it? W-I-K, correct. Nenweek, Nenweek. What about tuck, which is a tree, or muck, which is a beaver? It ends in a K, so it's gonna take on what form?
Animate.
Well, it is animate, but how do we pluralize it?
Oh, with a K at the end.
Matuck.
Or an O K at the end.
Or Mechian. Okay, correct. Matuck oak or muck oak. Correct, correct. What about if it ends in a vowel like macaw? How do we make one bear into multiple bears?
Add a K to the end.
You
Okay,
add a K to the end, correct? Okay, let's do one more. What about single? How do we make single plural?
Add a
Y-E-K.
a Y-E-K.
okay,
A K or a Y-E-K, correct. You can do either on single. Correct. Good old we guess.
go with that. Single, we'll go with that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, let's look at demonstratives. Okay, guys, all of this grammar that we're learning, it's all leading up to sentences. How to be able to do sentences. And we will do sentences.
We're only seeing a black screen again. Are we supposed to be?
Yeah,
There we go.
I was working on it.
Awesome.
Thanks for letting me know, though. Okay, demonstratives. This, that, these, and those. We also have to take into account the proximity of something or someone to the speaker. Far away may depend on perception. So it matters if the word is animate or inanimate. So just keep in mind that whoever the speaker is, like I'm speaking now, my idea of right here versus your idea of right here, like the proximity from me to it, from you to it could be totally different. So basically, it's almost like the speaker has a lot of power. You feel so powerful when you're speaking on one because you've got all the power, right? So, okay. And remember, everything we do, it matters if it's animate or inanimate, okay? We know that animate means living spiritual objects and many objects in nature. Inanimate are man-made, non-living things such as a chair or a branch on the ground. Okay, here are animate demonstratives. We have Oda, which for me, if I'm talking and I'm telling you where something is, Oda is right here, just about maybe a couple of feet away from me. Oda, this close animate thing. Could be talking about one of my little nieces or nephews, you know, this baby, you know, right here. I guess it would be Oda Pinoges, this baby. Somebody might say, which baby? Oda Pinoges, this baby. Or I might say, oh, Pinoges, that baby, that one a little bit further away. Or Ago, that one way over there, okay? But this is on the animate side, and this is singular. Oda, o, Ago. So baby, this baby, that baby way over there. On the plural side, Goda, if I'm talking about these babies right here, close to me, Pinojaya, Goda, Gi, those a little further away, or Eggy, those far away. So if you think about Oda and Goda are the same proximity. They're pretty close to you. It's just one is singular, used when you're talking about something singular, and one is when you're talking about plural. So a good example would be like what I'm looking at here in our classroom is, these tables. I could be talking about Oda Dokwin, that table, or Goda Dokwinan, those tables. Okay, so that's how we use our demonstratives.
So are
on that-
those slides supposed to be showing something different? Are we
No,
supposed-
no,
No,
I'm just
okay,
talking,
okay,
I'm just
okay.
talking. So animate demonstratives, and try to remember them like this. I'm gonna show you a chart here in a minute, and you should have one in your handout. But, Oda, Ago, that's the singular for animate, and then Goda, Gi, Egi, those are the plural for animate. Okay, now here's the thing. On the inanimate side, for singular, and this is the only one that is the same, Oda is also used for singular on the inanimate. So it is both singular for animate and inanimate. Okay, so again, talking about table inanimate. Oda, Oda Dokwin, E Dokwin, Ei Dokwin. So right here, a little bit further away and far away. One table. If I'm talking about those tables or maybe those chairs back there. Noda, Dokwinen, Ni Dokwinen, Any Dokwinen, those, or I'm still using table. Jeep Debwin, I'm sorry, chairs, Jeep Debwinen, Any Jeep Debwinen, those chairs way over there. Those are the ones I'm talking about, okay? So think you've got 6 demonstratives on the animate side and 6 on the inanimate side, okay? And however, you guys need to write them down to make them make sense for you, because trust me, I've written them down so many different ways to try to learn them. So here's what I had mentioned. You will notice that Oda, this close, is the only one which is the same for both the animate and inanimate. Also notice how the ones that are inanimate plural, always remember inanimate is going to have an N in there somewhere. So it's got the Noda, the Ni, the Any. It has N's in it. Inanimate, N. Okay. So then on your animate side, you've got the Goda, E, Egi. But try to remember, use that as a mnemonic device. Remember, if something's inanimate, there's going to be an N somewhere. Even like when you're pluralizing, it's going to be an N or an EN at the end or WEN. So that's how I try to remember them anyway. Okay. Examples. Wanisha Goda Pue. Who are these close women? Wanisha Goda Pue. Who are these close women? Goda, the plural, Quek, women. So that's, pay attention to that, Goda and Quek. Quek is more than one woman, right? So you know you're going to have to use a plural demonstrative, and you're going to have to use an animate demonstrative. And so in this instance, Goda is that demonstrative that we would use. Mishin E. Mazinigan, give me that thing a little ways away book. Give me that book that's just a little ways away. Mishin E. Mazinigan. So that's inanimate. So you've got E is the demonstrative that we're going to use for this example. Mishin EI B Wapkos. Give me that faraway phone. So that faraway phone way over there. And it's inanimate, Mishin EI B Wapkos. We're going to use a singular, but a inanimate demonstrative to say that sentence, okay? And I know I'm probably blowing y'all's mind, but when you see the chart, maybe it'll make sense. Vietnam, Oda, Moschwagen. Vietnam, Oda, Moschwagen. Pass me this close scissors. Pass me this close scissors, not these, but this. So singular, we're gonna use a singular demonstrative, and it's animate. And remember, for singular, for the animate and inanimate, it's OTA. That's the only one that's the same, okay? Wanisha OTA, what is this? You might say that to your kids, your grandkids, what is this? You pick something that, what is this? At that point, you're probably holding it in your hand or just, it's right there. So OTA is that thing that's closer. Nisha Notimusin again, give me these books. So this one's on the plural side. So inanimate, plural, nota. Inanimate, nota, in, okay? Wagnesia E, what is that? A little ways away, Wagnesia E. And then, Wagnesia G, Bamatajek, who are those a little ways away people? So the EK on the Bamatajek, the people, it's more than one person, so it's plural. They're animate, so you're gonna choose the demonstrative GI, the G. Okay, I know it's probably confusing, but, so become familiar with these and work on getting the pattern down. Again, make you some notes, however it makes sense in your head, because I have to do it. And maybe this way will help you. Seeing it this way, or let's see, maybe like this chart here. So you have so picture yourself being like you're the bullseye, you're right here in the middle, okay? So this is the animate side, this is the singular, this is the animate side, this is the plural, this is the inanimate side singular, and the inanimate side plural. This just shows you, okay, that's you, this is for something animate, but kind of close, it's gonna be. But more than one thing. This is a little bit further, more than one thing, and this is further, more than one thing versus a singular something right there, singular something a little bit further, and singular something way further. And same way over here. It's just, these are inanimate. These are animate, these are inanimate. So this could be people or animals, and this could be things like chairs and tables, stuff like that. So whatever way to make it makes sense to you is how you need to make your notes for the demonstratives. Because it does get to be a little tricky. I'm not real good with the demonstratives when as we're doing things, drilling at work, because if you'll see, I get mixed up, and I hope I don't cause you guys to do this, but you see the GI, we had this earlier. This is also, past tense. But it's also, you might see it in a sentence, it's also being used as a demonstrative. So it's real easy to get confused. I still get confused. Okay, that is it for the demonstratives. I think I do have. And I don't know if I sent them, but if not, I'm gonna put them up on the screen for you. I had Josie to make a couple of other ways of looking at it. Okay, you know how when you're looking for something, because I seen them earlier. Thing I showed you. Yeah, it is. Because Josie made that one. Maybe I put it. Okay, so I will send them to you because I'm not gonna waste a lot of time looking for 'em. And, oh, there they are, there. Underneath the demonstrable posters. Okay, let me share this screen. Are you guys, at home seeing this?
No,
Yeah?
no.
No,
Oh, okay. All right, good. Let me get this other stuff. That's why. So in this picture, see the spaceships look really big. That's because they're really close. And that's, these animate things in space. So one thing about spaceships, guys, when Josie was making this, you know, he asked me if they were animate or inanimate, and I was like, that's a good question, because it's so hard to know. Well, we kind of treat other things like we're saying that we don't know what the reason is. The car is considered animate. So in a sense, this is something that moves, it's mechanical like a car, so we're treating it as animate. So that's why we're using the animate demonstratives here. So, I'll show you. But what we're trying to show you is like for right here, you'll see it gets a little bit smaller. That's a little bit further in space, and then the smaller, it's like way far away. So however, whatever kind of visuals you need to do to help you, I would suggest that you try that because those are like super tricky. Okay. Let's see where we go now. Okay, so now we are going to move into tense markers, which we kind of learned a little bit already. Past tense and future tense. In order to indicate the past tense in Potawatomi, we add GI behind the pronoun and before the verb. Okay, so here is our prefix, our Potawatomi prefix in. This is our verb. This, we're calling it pronoun prefix. Really, to me, the N, the G, or the N, the W, the G, those are prefixes. But some people call them pronouns. So to me, the pronouns are the neen, the geen, the ween, but whatever. So, so in between, we add the tense in between the pronoun and before the verb, okay? Or Nagi Maji, I left. So if you will notice, this is our basic Maji pattern. If you think about the N, the G, the W. So all we're doing is we're putting a GI in the middle. between the N and the Maji. So this is changing it from I left to I did leave. Or Nagi Shia, I went. Gagi Shia Ne. Did you go? So this is a question marker right here. We haven't had that yet, but that's a question marker. Gagi Wawi Jagaman, we all read. Gi Nabiyagek, they wrote. So this is our verb to write. So past tense, they did it in the past. He binjage onene, he cleaned. Okay, that man, he cleaned. Gi is in the past. Okay, now the we is in the future. And it's in the same place in between the prefix or pronoun and the verb. So I will go, Nuijia, I will go. Guijiane, are you going to go? Guijiane, are you going to go? Nui Maji, I will leave. So I will leave. Gui Wow Wijigamen, we all are going to read. We Nebiagek, they will write. So in this example, the will is right there and the they is right here, this K. Think about your Maji pattern. It's the very last one that ends with the K. That's what the they is, right there. We Bijage Onene, he will clean. Okay. Does that make sense so far? The gi and the we?
Yep.
In the conjunct form, we use ga for the past and wa for the future. So it's instead of a GI, it's a GA for the independent is a GI and a GA for the conjunct, or a WI for the independent, or a WA for the future for the conjunct. Nija P Walja Majiwat. When are they leaving? Nija Ga Waja Maji, why did he leave? So again, like if you'll look, this is the past, Ga, and then T, right here, this is he or she, third person, T. In the conjunct side, which we haven't looked a whole lot at, but that's the he or she, the T. And then Nija P Wa Wawija Yen, that's the U. Yan, Yen on the conjunct side, you'll see it up here. And then Najetso, Bamatsajet, Ga, Gio, Sewat. How many people went hunting? So again, past tense here, Bamatsajet people, this EK makes it plural right here. And Giose is our verb to hunt, but what is I hate that it does that, is the they. What is the they all right here, okay? But I did give you guys some handouts, I do believe, that shows maybe side by side of like Maji pattern independent and Maji pattern conjunct. So maybe you'll be able to cross-reference it and make it make sense that way. Any questions on this? Everybody okay? Okay. Hence markers and time. Gagi Majimin Nago. We all left yesterday. Gagi Majimin Nago. We all left yesterday. If you look at this sentence, the G men, that's the we all. This is the past tense right here. Maji is the verb to leave, and then that's our time marker Nago, yesterday. Wabuk Nui Maji, I am leaving tomorrow. Wabuk Nui Maji, I am leaving tomorrow. There's the I, and that's will or am, whatever, leaving, and that's tomorrow. Gagiji Amne Nago. So this is the question right here, did. And then the G and the M is the you all. That's the next to the last one in the Maji pattern. It has the G and the M. Go, yesterday. The Nago is yesterday. Gui, Bodwe, Ne, Iba, Ngom. Are you going to build a fire over there today? So build a fire, Bodwe is our verb to build a fire. We is like going, to. And then Iba is a location indicator over there. Ngom is today. And then that's you, the G. So Gui, Bodwe, Ne, Iba, Ngom. Are you going to build a fire over there today? So pretty similar Wow Wijige. For he or she reads, it's giving you some examples of what it looks like. These are all past tense. Okay. Because it's got the GI and the GI is what? Is it conjunct or independent for past tense? Do you guys remember? Independent, correct. Okay. Mabwachaway as he or she visits, and we've got the past tense up there. It's also independent. We is what? Future, and is it independent or conjunct? This is what emoji for he or she fishes. And so the we is also independent. Mikchui, he or she works. We're using independent future tense, the we. And then remember, GI is past tense marker, WEI is the future tense marker. And just continue to use the different verbs that I've given you and practice using these tense markers. It'll get so much easier. And I guess that's it on that one. How are you online folks doing? Did you get that okay? Everybody doing okay?
I think so.
Did I blow your minds?
Shelly,
Uh-huh.
could you just repeat how to pronounce the he, she fishes?
What emoji?
Guadamochke?
What emoji?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, hence markers activity. What do I have planned for us? Let's see. I think I gave you guys all of this. You've probably not seen it. I'll put it up in just a minute. You guys here in person should have this. I gave you a little sample of a past tense and you online folks too, but let me grab it just in case. Right here. These kind of things help me so much. I can't tell you how many things I create to help me. You guys at home seeing this?
Yes.
Okay. But you could just try to memorize this. This will help you not only with the Maji pattern, but also incorporating those tenses in there, the future and the past. And then also do it on the flip side. Try to use the conjunct tenses as well as the Maji conjunct pattern. Justin always says that if you will at least learn the Maji pattern and the VAI verbs, you can speak Potawatomi. It may sound like a little broken up, but you would be able to get by with just the VAI verbs and the Maji pattern. So just remember that. But as we talk more about BTIs, The independent side conjugates, pretty close to how we conjugate, on the independent side with the Maji as well, with the BAIs. The BTIs are so super similar, so they'll be easy to transition into. So you have on this one, that gives you the past and there's the future. And remember, I don't think I gave you one, but this is the independent. So if you think about it, if you just switch the I's out with A's, then you have your conjunct past and future tense. Pattern. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Let me find that. Mama. Mama P, thanks for coming. Mhm. I hid the activity from myself, guys. There would be a second. Oh, maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't, guys. I think maybe that is. Okay, maybe I didn't. I think maybe I thought we would do that, but I think the exercise that I had in mind for us to do, it has a lot of stuff to do with questions, so we haven't gone over questions, so we're not gonna do that activity today. Let me move on to indicators of time. I've already given you some of those. Okay, are you guys seeing the slideshow? I think I had, took it off. You guys at home seeing that?
Yeah.
Okay. We got time probably for one more. Okay, time and concept in Potawatomi. Time was never important to the Potawatomi people. You did something until you got it done or you went without. The most important mark of time was in the seasons and moons. We followed a 13-moon cycle. Each moon was descriptive of what was done during that month. For example, maple syrup month or leaves changing color month. These also tended to make little difference until modern times to our people. You may have heard the expression running on Indian time, hence running behind or getting something done in your own good time. We're going to explain this in the lesson how we talk about time today, as our world has certainly become very dependent on time. Our focus on different times of day. These would be seen as much more important to our ancestors than exact time. Besides, our ancestors would have been very adept to telling exact time by looking at the sun. Today, if someone asked one of us to look at the sun and tell them what time it is, we should most probably be lost. Some words for times of day. Ngom, which is today or now. Wabuk is tomorrow. Wabin is morning. Pecognac is evening, kind of like about right now. And Gishet is early morning. How do we say time? It is indicated by the letters PI. For example, Odajo P means at this time or right now or now. Vama P, which is used for goodbye, literally means at a later time. But we cannot use PI alone, P alone. Okay? Bos Gishet is very early morning. Jiba is this past morning. The bucket is nighttime. Off that bucket is midnight. Off day, anytime you see off day, that means kind of halfway through. The buckok is last night. The buckok, last night. Cognac is dark. Gishket is just the word we use for day. Now kwe is noon. Now quick is if you're telling someone something's going to happen at noon. Now quick. Gish now kwe is in the afternoon, so past noon, maybe sometime between like noon and 4 or 5. Bugeshmok is evening, and that's the time when the sun sets. That's also a directional indicator, Bugeshmok. So our language is extremely descriptive. So a word of caution. Don't become too worried about what a word literally means. We only tell you these because we find them interesting. As you learn more of the language, you will understand why these words mean what they do. However, if you worry too much about the literal meaning, you might miss the word's everyday usage. Example, instead of hearing opted bucket and thinking, oh, that's midnight, you might think, this means halfway through the night. And by the time that you've thought about this, then the rest of the sentence has happened. And that happens a lot. These ladies up here are shaking their heads because as we're taking classes, we take classes together on Thursdays. And, you know, I'm a new learner. So when Justin is telling us a sentence, I may catch something at the very beginning and I'm thinking, I know what that is. Oh, it means this. Well, then he's already finished with the sentence and I didn't even catch the last part of it because I'm focused on the actual literal meaning other than, you know. And one thing that we do is we second guess ourselves. I do it quite a bit. Like I'm thinking, oh, that means, but no, maybe it doesn't, you know. It's kind of like they always say when you're taking a test, go with your first instinct. It's usually right. So, just anyway, a few little helpful corners there. Okay, and that is the end for that PowerPoint and time indicators. Okay, we have a little bit of time. How's everybody doing? Does anybody have any questions for me so far?
Very good.
You guys are either asleep, I put you to sleep, or I've blown your minds, I don't know. Hopefully you're doing okay. So let's talk about word
Shelly,
order.
I'm sorry. You're you're funny, but I just wanted to ask, I think I've noticed that I'm getting a lot of the grammar, but maybe I still could use some help with the vocabulary. So I didn't know if you had resources to just some PowerPoints that were like flashcards where we could kind of click through and like test ourselves in that way, or should I
Okay.
just
So you're
handwrite
talking
some
about
flashcards?
just building your vocabulary?
Yes, just to
Yeah.
help me, you know, I know you give us the verbs to practice conjugating and I'm trying to go through those, but I didn't know if you had like flashcard style resources.
Yeah, we actually do. We have all different types of flashcards. We have some for commands. I don't know that we have any just specifically for verbs, but that would be super easy to make up, honestly. I've given you verb lists plenty of verb lists throughout these 3 weeks, but we could definitely look at doing some, something like that for you, and we're glad to do it.
The Pokagon band, they actually have an app that has like a bunch of games and stuff that are vocabulary games.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That could be
Thank you.
useful.
I appreciate that, Judah.
Yeah.
Miko.
Is
It's-
anybody using our online resources that we have here at the nation? Like we have YouTube channels that has videos, different things. We actually have classes that you can take. And there are some games incorporated into those classes, but they're at your own pace. And a lot of this information that I'm giving you is the same information. It's just presented in a different way. So here in just a moment, we can maybe, it's 6:45, we can maybe hold off on doing word order and look at it now. I know that we have things that even I don't know about. Justin had found some things the other day. I don't know if it was an old class. I'm going to take this PowerPoint down, y'all, and we'll talk about that next time. But let me figure out how to go to. I'm trying to show you the online learning if I can. Is anybody on here using our dictionary?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So if you go to Potawatomi, let's see, no, it's actually learning first, I think. Learning Potawatomi dot, I don't know. Give me a second.
I will say I like the dictionary when I'm looking for a specific word, and I really like the word of the day feature. But I didn't know if there were other resources, like testing style, so I could kind of help quiz myself.
We do have some stuff on Quizlet. And
Perfect.
we have another teacher in the audience here. Jose, what is that thing that Justin found the other day? I think it's another class, but you're able to test yourself. And he hasn't showed it to us yet. I'm trying to log into my learning account, you guys, so.
I don't know, but it does have those flashcards.
Yeah, I know Quizlet has flashcards, and I myself still go on Quizlet and do that. Username and password. Of course, it's not Watson. That is my. I did not hold in my mouth just right. Okay. Probably locked me out because I messed up so many times. Probably shop. Okay. That's not gonna happen. I'll probably lock myself out because it's asking me to reset my password. Okay, so on this, if you Google learning.potawatomi.org, create an account, you'll need an email address. But there's like maybe 5 or 6 different classes that you can take after you watch a video. Then there's some interactive activities that you can do, enter little flashcards on there. Some of them might be like a word scramble. There's all different kinds of, there's even like looks like a Space Invaders game that you can play to, try to just learn the content that was on the videos. And then at the end of each little section, you test on it. And so you mess up, you get it multiple chances and go back and test. But when I first started working for the language department, that was what I did for probably the first month and a half, is take all of those classes, and they are available at any time. Like I said, it's work at your own pace, but you go to learning.potawatomi.com, I believe. And then our dictionary is you could just Google Potawatomi dictionary. The dictionary is a work in progress. It will help you conjugate like up to some of like the ma verbs, and you might actually stumble on a word in the dictionary that will actually show the conjugation right there. Not all of them are that way, and there's not many, because like I say, it's the dictionary is a constant evolution, a work in progress. But there are a lot of little tag words on there, like you could learn colors, and we can go through some colors too. If you guys will email me if there's like specific things you want.
Learning.potawatomi.com does not seem to be the site.
Really?
I'm getting a 503 service unavailable.
Okay.
Oh,
Take out
it's
the dot then.
it's
Learning
.org, Judah.
.org.
Yep,
Okay,
I
thank
just
you.
created an account.
Oh my gosh, you're
Cool.
fast.
Thank
So-
you.
So on there, you can learn like animals, or I was talking about the tags on the dictionary, animals, common phrases, body parts, which we've learned some of them, I've given you some of them. Colors, numbers, different types of clothing, all sorts of stuff. So when you go on the dictionary, do look at the tags. And that will be super helpful, but we will certainly look at creating some flashcards for some of the verbs, but we do have a host of flashcards for the other stuff, like I said, like the animals. And if any of you would like to have that, I could email them to you, which means you would have to cut them out yourself, or I could do it and I could send them to you if you want to send me your mailing addresses. But really just whatever you are interested in getting from this language department, we are so very willing to give it to you. You know, we're here 5 days a week, 8 to 5, working on the language. You know, I spend time working on this class for you guys, but we do get together and we will study. Justin, Josie, and he will quiz us on different things and introduce different things. And we have conversational class on Wednesdays that's online. We have a few people that come in on Thursdays for a class. And I will say that my study time did get set up for Fridays. I sent that out to you guys earlier. Anybody that just wants to come in tomorrow and just kind of like be a real informal. I'm not going to be teaching like I am now. Maybe we could talk about some of the concepts that we've learned, maybe something you're not understanding, but that's going to be at 10 o'clock. It is a different Zoom link, but I did send that out today. So, and we will have access to that till the end of this course. And then of course, it gets busy for us in the summer, but we are available at any time. You have my email address now. And we have also Josie in our department. He's been here longer than I have. He knows more than I do. And then we have Justin, who is I will say fluent in the language. He's really good with the language. He's been working on it for a really long time. And so we're here to help. We just really want you guys to know that. And by you guys participating in my class, this is my second class that I've taught, the first one that I've done online and in person. You're helping me tremendously because it's a challenge, you know, for me to set this class up and also to constantly quiz myself. A lot of this stuff we're covering, I haven't looked at in a little bit because we've been focusing on those 4th level BTA verbs for a while. And I think those have really gotten my mind kind of out there in space. So it's kind of nice to come back to stuff that I actually recognize. But I do want to say, guys, if there's anything that, and I said it in the first class, that you're wanting to get out of this class that I am not providing, do send me an email and we will try and get that covered either in one of our upcoming classes because I do obviously have goals that I want to get to as far as what I want to share with you. But I have left some time also to where we can cover things that you specifically ask for. Or you can always, email me and set up a time with me to, for us to call or however we need to do it, but we are available. So, if there's anything else that you are needing, let me know via email. I haven't looked at the script for last time's class. And I might get to look at it tomorrow and then also from tonight for like the chat page. I apologize to you online people. I'm not able to facilitate, maybe answering all your questions. Normally Justin would be a co-host and he would be taking care of that for me, but he was on travel status. So if there's something I missed, do email me and my apologies for that, but we'll try and get that taken care of. So I think with that, we are going to go ahead and close tonight's class. And I will look forward to whoever wants to join me at 10 o'clock in the morning via Zoom. Otherwise, for the rest of you that aren't able to join because you're working or whatever, then I'll look forward to seeing you next Thursday.
If I wasn't working, I would love to show up to the Zoom tomorrow.
Okay, that's awesome. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, I got work though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that may be something that is recorded. This class is recorded. And they do put it up. I believe you have to Google the HownieCon page and
Yeah, I'll link that in the chat because I've already got it pulled up.
look at you. Oh my gosh, you're such a great helper. But yes, all the classes are there so far, 1, 2, and then this one will be there tomorrow afternoon. Okay, everybody stay safe and well. Till next time. Vamos a
Kimiko,
Shelly.
Mama P.
Vamos a
I'm a P.
I'm up here.
Vamos Go home. Rick up. Rick up. Is he asleep?
No.
Oh, he's been awake this whole time?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dusty wouldn't let me put him to sleep. Wonderful. Did you say no? No.